Okay folks, next up it's the stewarding review of lap 7 of the feature race for SVR03, the race around Spa for the feature. This is a complaint from SoulShock, and we'll take a look at it at racing speed first of all. So SoulShock slightly slow away from the bus stop, opens the door essentially for Arya, but steers to the middle of the track to protect position. Heads down into La Source, should mean a slower release from the corner. SoulShock very much caught here, and the way into Eau Rouge then. Don't know if there was contact in that instance. We'll go, I'm told it's after Eau Rouge, over the hill of Radion and onto the Camel Straight. Here comes Arya then from behind. We are on lap 7. Arya makes the pass down the inside into Leigh, and SoulShock feeling aggrieved that he's been put out onto the corner, and he's then clattered into, unfortunately for him, by the teammate of Arya. So we'll go back. I'm going to change the camera position and we can have a look from outboard. And we can turn the swing around a little bit here. So we're in the middle of the track. We are far left on the racing line. Check the mirrors, it seems. Drifting to the middle slightly. Here comes Arya then to the inside, is significantly ahead at the corner, perhaps makes a mistake, goes off the line, and you could argue potentially that SoulShock failing to rejoin safely. Let's just check this then from Arya's perspective. Riding on board on the chase cam with Arya, does Arya make a mistake at the apex of Leigh and oversteer wide? There does appear to be not enough racing room left here to SoulShock, potentially at the corner, but I don't think it's huge. Let's have a look. Moves to the inside, is ahead at the braking zone, has the right to the corner, but doesn't hug the apex and leave racing room in the corner. Behaves slightly erratically, you have to say, at the corner. Now from the perspective of Tequila Monkey, who's going to go down to the inside, look for that opportunity. Does take one attempt at avoiding action, and I think that potentially no wrongdoing from Tequila Monkey. That's almost for certain as far as I'm concerned. We'll take one more look at it, but I don't think steers away from the racing line. In fact, does shape away, and I think that the contact is actually down to SoulShock being unable to control the car on rejoin. A more calm and possibly slower rejoin perhaps would have left SoulShock in a better position. However, the actions of Arya do seem to indicate a small amount of fault, a very minor contact. I'm not inclined to give a particularly strict penalty for such contact with Arya's car on to SoulShock. That is racing, but you can argue that SoulShock was not expecting to have contact at that point. Tried to go around the outside, but the corner did not belong to SoulShock because Arya was ahead and had the inside line. Ultimately, I think that is only worth a +2 second penalty to Arya. Wrongdoing, but not wholly to fault, not wholly to blame for SoulShock's race affecting crash. I think SoulShock has to take some of the blame for that himself. That would be my judgment overall. SoulShock partially to blame, but suffered his own consequences. Arya partially to blame and profited. So I will say +2 seconds for race time in the feature race to Arya.